What is up, everybody? I am Robert Wykowski Jr. And if you're turning back into the channel, that means the NFL has officially kicked off for the 2020 season. And with that being said, that means the Detroit Lions are also back in action at Ford Field this Sunday as they take on the NFC North rival Chicago Bears. In years past, we've looked at things a little bit differently. We only looked at one offensive player, one defensive player, and a dark horse. However, that's going to change this year. This year, we're looking at team history, things to watch out for, some keys to the game for both the Lions and the Bears, and then we're going to wrap things up with my prediction. So if you guys do enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so the last time that we saw the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears kick off was week 13 of the regular season last year, which was also Thanksgiving. It was at Ford Field. The Bears won by a score of 24-20 and handed the Lions their fifth straight loss. Mitchell Trubisky went 29 for 38 for 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. While David Blau for the Detroit Lions was 22 for 38 for 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. The Lions were leading this game for the most part by a score of 17-10 heading into halftime, but gave up a touchdown in both the third and fourth quarters. The all-time matchup between these two teams has consisted of 180 games. However, it does go in favor of the Chicago Bears as they hold the edge with a 101, 74, and 5 record all time. So just a couple things to watch out for the Detroit Lions. Their defensive performance. One of the things that they really focused on this offseason was revamping this defense. They brought in Jamie Collins, Nick Williams, Deron Harmon, Danny Shelton, and Desmond Trufant in free agency. They also unfortunately traded away Darius Slay to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they also addressed this need in the draft with Jeff Okudah and Julian Okwara. So how this Lions defense performs in week 1 could show us what we could be looking forward to throughout the regular season. We also have to look at the offensive line performance. The Bears have one of the best front sevens in the NFL within defensive end Akeem Hicks and linebackers Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. So looking at how the Lions can hold up against these talented defenders and kind of limit the pressure that Matthew Stafford sees could be a big key to their success moving forward. However, are the Lions going to be able to generate enough pass rush to alter the Bears' offensive gameplay? That is one question that I have heading into Sunday's matchup. Now shifting our focus over to the Chicago Bears, this offense has a lot of questions. With David Montgomery's status for week 1 not officially been made yet, it's still unclear whether he's going to play. Maybe he'll receive a couple touches, maybe he won't receive any at all. There's a lot of question at the running back position. So with that being said, who takes a majority of the carries for the Chicago Bears? Tariq Cohen has struggled in the past running north to south. Cordarrelle Patterson has never really been a full-time running back, regardless of a high yards per carry average, which is 7.6 for his career. And they also have Ryan Nall on the roster. He is also in the mix, but he's only seen a total of 2 NFL touches in his career. So who's going to get a majority of the carries for Chicago? The Bears are also featuring 2 starters in the defensive backfield. Rookie Jalen Johnson takes over for Prince Amukamara. That was a big hole that the Bears saw. I mean, they've changed their defensive starters, and as many times as I can remember, I mean, they always feature some new faces in that secondary each and every season. And they also have a mix of Tashawn Gibson and Deion Bush taking over that safety spot. So that's something also to watch out for, is how the secondary matches up against the Lions wide receivers and Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, TJ Hawkinson, and can't forget about the running back group, Kerryon Johnson, Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift, Bo Scarborough. There's a lot of offensive weapons that these Lions have. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Bears kind of match up with them and how things go moving forward within the game. But also, can the Bears generate enough pass rush to control Stafford's offensive output throughout the game? Are they going to be able to disrupt any momentum that the Lions can generate from these games or from their series? Time will only tell. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So now we shift our focus over to the keys of the game. for the Detroit Lions, protect Stafford from getting sacked. You do not want him taken to the ground at all, whether it be from Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, or Akeem Hicks. I mentioned those guys time and time again because they are just some of the talented front seven members that the Chicago Bears have. So the offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them. Shifting it over to the key for the defensive performance is the pass rushers need to apply pressure early. The Lions struggled with pass rush all of last season. They did sign Trey Flowers, but he didn't quite live up to the potential that the Lions were hoping for out of a pass rusher. They did address it in the draft as well by drafting Julian Okwara. So they are trying to make those necessary moves to get a pressure applied early and more frequently than they did a season ago. Shifting over to the Chicago Bears. For offense, the Bears need to get Tyreek Cohen going early. He is a smaller running back. He is shifty. He is quick. Although he has struggled in the past, the Lions have had some trouble covering running backs in previous games. So if they can get him going early and kind of get those linebackers more focused on the running backs and kind of spread the backfield just a little bit more, that'll be huge for the Chicago Bears' success against Detroit at Ford Field. And looking over at the defensive side of the performance, don't allow Stafford to throw it deep. We know Stafford has quite the arm. We know the Lions have a lot of good wide receivers in Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, tight ends in TJ Hawkinson and Jesse James, and now running backs in Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, and DeAndre Swift. So there's a lot of talent on this Lions offense. So the secondary is going to have a lot of work cut out for them. There are a couple new faces, but if they could step it up and make those necessary plays, they could walk away victorious. All right, so now we are going to wrap things up with my prediction for Sunday's matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. I do say my choices need to go in favor of the home team, the Detroit Lions. Even though there are no fans in the stadium, the Lions did address those necessary key points on the offense. They looked and revamped their running back group a ton with the signings of Adrian Peterson and drafting DeAndre Swift. They did address some key holes in the offensive line, which they addressed in free agency and in the draft. But their defense is going to make the biggest statement on Sunday. I mean, they did draft Jeff Okudah. They signed Desmond Trufant. They signed a whole bunch of names on that defensive front seven. So just seeing how that defense performs, if it can hold their ground and make a lot of key plays, the Detroit Lions are going to walk away victorious by a final score of 31-24. So we're going to wrap things up here. If you guys do enjoy the content, please feel free to smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. All support is appreciated. And as always, I will catch you for next week's matchup. We don't know who it's going to be yet. It may not be the Detroit Lions. But if there is a matchup that you want to see featured, comment it down below. You can also tweet at me at DragonDenSports, DM me on Instagram at DragonDenSports, and follow me on Facebook at DragonDenSports. And with that being said, closing things up here, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.